the INEC chairman will be here. We are going to discuss the final arrangement before the election. So I invited him here to come and talk to us. It's going to be an interactive session. You will tell the INEC chairman what you feel, what are the challenges you notice on ground, and the areas we should, and what we should do to cover the gap. So it's going to be in three folds. So let me welcome all of you here. It is my honor and privilege to welcome you to this inaugural meeting with all the AIGs, the commissioners of police across all police commands and formations in the country, following my assumption of duty as Acting Inspector General of Police on Wednesday, 16th January of this year. During the handing and taking over ceremony held last week, you will recall that I emphasized in my speech that the presidential and National Assembly elections scheduled for 16th of February 2019 and the governorship, state assembly, and Federal Capital Territory Area Council elections slated for Saturday, 2nd March 2019 are national engagements that will not only tax us, but subject our professionalism and commitment to duty, to national and international scrutiny. Similarly, I identified the two national engagements as being a priority to my leadership. In furtherance to this, I have laid out a number of engagements that are critical to the attainment of our election security mandate within the context of the Electoral Act. Within the past few days, I have received briefs from heads of departments, and I've also attended the meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security, which was hosted by the National Security Advisor, and which had all strategic leaders in the election security architecture in attendance. In addition, a capacity building training on democratic policing and election security management for the police officers is currently ongoing. The training is designed to hold across the 12 police zonal headquarters, starting from today, the 21st January 2018, up to 8th of February 2019. Prior to this, the Office of the National Security Advisor has organized similar election security capacity building training for the police and other security agencies. All these initiatives are part of the broad plan directed at ensuring quality security service delivery by the police and other security agencies during the general election. Today's meeting is another critical engagement in our resolve to develop an effective framework that will endanger optimal police performance during the national exercise. This strategic planning meeting is designed to achieve three major objectives. First, to evaluate police performance in various electoral engagements with a view to drawing lessons, ascertaining performance gaps, and identifying critical operational challenges that can be addressed in the process of planning for the upcoming general elections. The second purpose of this conference is to undertake national security threat analysis and level of preparation for the elections at the state command levels, discuss limitations and evaluate strategies towards managing the identified threats. The third, and perhaps most important, is to enable professional interaction between the police, the INEC leadership, and strategic partners across the country with a view to perfecting interventions that will aid in the attainment of our election security mandate as the lead agency in election security management process. The meeting will also give insight into some of my policy direction in the drive towards repositioning the Nigeria police force. The credibility of any election is determined not just by the legal framework regulating it and the conduct of the actors within the process, but by the extent of professionalism and operational competence displayed by the police. And conscious of this reality, I assure the nation and the international community that the Nigeria Police Force shall coordinate effectively with other complementary security agencies and collaborate efficiently with the leadership of the INEC in guaranteeing a safe and secure space for the citizens to freely exercise their electoral franchise. This meeting shall task all commissioners of police across all the 36 police state commands and the Federal Capital Territory to galvanize their personnel and mobilize logistics towards ensuring a peaceful and credible outcome of the general elections. They shall also be tasked to identify possible threats and apply all legal and professional means to neutralize them ahead of the elections. Let me reiterate that while the police in all commands will secure law-abiding political actors, party faithful, and citizens in the course of the elections, nobody should be in doubt as to the capacity and renewed determination of the police to deal decisively with elements that attempt to test our will by engaging in political violence or other electoral offenses, including vote buying, which could threaten our democratic values. Any citizen that intends to offer himself or herself to be used negatively as a cannon fodder for political actors should either have a rethink or be ready to face the consequences. Indeed, in order to ensure that such offenders are conclusively brought to justice, the DIG in charge of investigation and intelligence has been directed to set up special election investigation teams that will be tasked with the exclusive functions of taking in custody and undertake detailed investigation of all arrested electoral offenders across the country. The team shall also liaise with the INEC towards the prompt processing of the cases of the offenders for prosecution. Ladies and gentlemen, as promised during the handing and taking over ceremony between the immediate past IGP and myself, a number of well-thought-out reform initiatives directed at restoring the traditional policing standard of the force shall be vigorously pursued in all aspects of policing functions, particularly in the operations, intelligence, investigations, training, science, technology and innovation, and monitoring and evaluation within the force. It is in cognizance of the fact that our responsibility as a police force is to operate within the extant rules and best international policing practice. It also imposes on us the obligation of respecting, protecting, and advancing the rights of all citizens of this country, regardless of their socio-economic status. Furthermore, Public acceptance of the police under a democratic setting is not influenced exclusively by the number of crimes that are solved, but by the manner such are attained. Since no police force ever succeeds by alienating its citizens, we are firmly resolved that under my watch, policing will be citizen-centered, rules-driven, and accountability guided. Towards this end, a comprehensive reform, both in terms of ethics, mode of operations, nomenclature, and orientation, function delineation, command and control, weaponry, and accountability mechanism will be undertaken in the Special Anti-Robbery Squad. This is with a view to giving full, clear, measurable, and accountable intervention to the presidential directives on reform and reorientation of the unit as recently handed down to the force leadership. A reorganization proposal to this effect is being currently studied preparatory to its being implemented. At the end, a protocol that will document the outcome of the reform shall be developed. The protocol shall become the standard operating procedure of the unit, which will be engaged for performance evaluation in aid of accountability process and disciplinary concern. It shall also act as a guide for the review of specific operations involving the unit with a view to drawing lessons and identifying gaps which can be bridged in order to strengthen the operational engagement of the unit across all commands. This initiative will be undertaken in close collaboration with the Presidency, Office of the National Security Advisor, Ministry of Interior, Police Service Commission, and Human Rights Group, including developing partners and other strategic stakeholders. The proposed reorganization will produce a new special anti-robbery unit, which will be professional enough to protect the citizens in their line of duty, but uniquely potent enough to respond to any major weapon-related organized crimes in the swiftest and most ethical manner. While this initiative is being perfected, the operation of the Special Anti-Robbery Squad, which is currently centralized at the Force Headquarters, is hereby decentralized. Consequently, with immediate effect, the commissioners of police in each of the 36 police commands and the Federal Capital Territory are to assume full command and control authority on all Special Anti-Robbery Squad in their commands. While the Force Headquarters unit is henceforth subsumed under the command of the DIG Force CID. The import of this is that the DIG Force CID and the civil commands shall from this date not only assume administrative and operational control of SARs in their respective commands, they shall also be directly held liable for any professional misconduct resulting from the operation of the unit. Consequently, there are to immediately undertake a detailed evaluation of the unit in their command and submit a report to my office within the next 2 weeks. Similarly, all quasi-investigation and operation units, including Special Investigation Panel, Special Tactical Squad, or any other such teams under whatever name are hereby disbanded. The DIG Force CID is to overtake and review all cases that such teams are currently handling, as well as official assets on charge to them, and submit a detailed report to my office within 2 weeks. Similar comprehensive reorganization will be undertaken in the investigative, in the intelligence, and special operation arms of the force, comprising of the police mobile force, counter-terrorism unit, and the special protection unit. This repositioning process will eventually cascade down to the zonal and state command levels. The essence is to restore order and apply a brake to the current slide in policing standard, discourage the proliferation of multiplicity of outfits competing for operational space in the most unprofessional manner. We shall hence have the capacity of the police towards situating our operations within the principles and practice of intelligence-led policing and human rights standards, and align our operations to modern dynamics. To the officers attending this conference, I charge you to remain dedicated to your professional callings, exhibit the highest possible level of leadership and the strongest possible quality of character towards advancing our common mandate of ensuring internal security and guaranteeing a peaceful and credible electoral process. I thank you all and wish us a rewarding deliberation.